Hi, everybody. My name is Miss Austin. I am a DJ, producer. I'm based in Ghana, and I'm very happy to be part of Just for Women Africa.
What inspired you to get into DJing?
My love for DJing came from the fact that I've always loved music and dance. And I was a very shielded child. So when I went to university the first year and I had my freedom, and I went to the club the first time. I was like, yes, this is what I want to do. I like the way the DJ put us in the mood and kept going on and on and on till the whole club session was ended. I like the way that um, the music kept playing and how it made me feel throughout the whole time. We were there. There was never a dull moment. So after that, I was like, yeah, this is what I want to do. And so I didn't start DJing when I was in uni. I just kept telling my friends I would want to be a DJ. And one of my friends, Julia, introduced me to her friend who was a DJ at the time. At the time, he's still a DJ, I think so. It's called DJ Big L. So he had a set of friends who were like big DJs at the time. This was back in 2012. So I used to follow them around whilst I was in uni. And then I understood how the whole business industry, the DJ industry was and how I could fit in at the time. So that's how I joined and became a DJ.
Were there any female DJs in the space when you were starting out in the male dominated industry?
There was one female DJ that I knew of. Um, Her name is DJ Kess. But I also later found out that the first actual female DJ was Miss Na, who then became a radio host at YFM. But during when I was growing up, the only person I knew was DJ Kess, and she was also at YFM. So she was the only one, and she was my inspiration.
Do you remember your very first big gig?
Now let me talk about my very first big gig on a big stage. So this was 2 years after struggling around. This was when I was like, I need to go hard. This was my first gig was with Charterhouse. It was Rexona Drummond concert. Mind you, I'd never all I was used to is playing lounges. I was used to playing lounges. I was used to playing corporate events that were in, and then sometimes club was demanding, but it wasn't that demanding as compared to a concert. So my first ever big gig that made me like go crazy was in 2014. Um, Rex Dumo concert with Chatterhouse. Why it means a lot to me is the fact that um, first of all, there weren't a lot of female DJing wasn't a concept. Aside the one DJ, there was nothing else. There was nobody else to hold on to, right? And it was a huge event for Charterhouse, and I was brought in last minute to perform. Now, what made it very touching for me was the fact that whilst I was on stage, I could hear the CEO stressing, the CEO of Charterhouse stressing because this was a gig that he couldn't play with, and if I messed up, that would mess up their relationship or the whole event. So he was very anxious. He was scared, and they kept telling him, "Don't worry, she's got it. Don't worry, she's got it." So I remember the first song that I played, the whole crowd went crazy, and that was when the CEO was like, and then I continued. And then from there, they booked me from there till today. So that was the beginning of my relationship. But that point till I started, it was just his people telling him, "Don't worry, she's got it. Don't worry, she's got it," and he freaking out. So that's for all the things I did. That's the number number one gig that I hold dear to my heart.
How do you prepare for a gig? Do you go by vibe, crowd, or you have a playlist prepared?
It depends on where I'm going. So if I have been a resident at a place for a while, I kind of know what people are expecting. So let me give you an instance. A place like Bella Afrique, I know is usually a bit of Afro house, Amapiano, Afro beats. So I would know how to tailor my playlist towards it. And um yeah, I usually like to prepare, and sometimes I practice at home on a few tricks or a few things that I would like to do when I'm there. So I usually sit down and download songs and hear it out and make sure that they're good quality and stuff like that. So it's not just uh, downloading music, also checking the quality of music that you're taking out and your source of where you download. Now, if I'm going to play in another country or in another region from Ghana, I need to understand who I'm going to play for, what's what kind of music that they like. Usually it's Afrobeats, but region to region they have specific Afrobeat or highlight hip lives that they want. So you would have to be a bit you have to do your homework before you go. So it really depends on the place that I am going to DJ.
What are some of the biggest challenges you faced as a female DJ in Ghana?
One of my biggest challenges is the fact that you're a woman and you always have to more than prove yourself every time. It's my biggest challenge, but it's also my biggest weapon because first it's doubt. And then when they get to know that you can do it, then you have more, what do you call it? Then they trust you more. So it's like it's never like stable. It's like either they underestimate you or overestimate you. So my biggest struggle is the fact that you're a woman and you have to always overprove yourself. They will always have to scrutinize you. They would always second guess you and also not get paid. Like they like when you charge sometimes they feel like it's a bit too much, and maybe the boys aren't charging that much, and yours seems a bit high. That's my big, which I don't think is high, anyways. Um, if you've worked, I've worked in the industry for 13 years. I know how things are run. I understand the kind of money that's coming in, and I understand how much I'm charging, and I also understand that I'm not charging um too much. Like it's not charging to, I mean, like it's not unheard of. But one, because you're a woman, it's like why is she like she's a bit difficult. She's a bit too pricey, stuff like that. Yeah, that's my biggest challenge.
Have you ever been turned down for gigs because you're a woman?
Oh, several times. I've been turned down for gigs. I have approached people that have turned me down. I've also had people that have approached me, and most of the time it's oh you're way behind, be above my budget. Oh, you way be above my budget. But then you would see other people come from outside the country, like expert DJs who are not big names. Don't get me wrong. Some expert DJs, big names, I can understand, but they are not big names, but get paid more than you because they are experts.
What advice would you give to a young woman who wants to become a DJ but doesn't know where to start?
My favorite advice would be understanding the business of any creative industry, even if it's not DJing, but understanding um, the business of the creative industry, the business of DJing before you get into it, because most of us are passionate about just the work. It's not just about the work anymore. It's understanding that how your branding is important, your relationship with other managers, venue owners, festival, your relationship with people in the industry is important. Um, Also understanding how you can make money aside playing. So, for instance, grow your brand to sell merchandise, grow your brand to organize your own events and also make extra money. So your revenue is not just from pressing the play button, but from other things that's also related to your craft as a DJ. So understand the aside perfecting your skill and all these other things that you're only taught because you're a DJ. There's more to just knowing how to DJ. So understand the business of DJing, right? And also understand DJing. But the business of DJing is the most important part.
Vinyl, controller, or turntable? What's your favorite setup?
Luckily enough, I can play. I can play anything you give me. I can play vinyls. I can play CDJs, and I can play um recent controllers. I would choose controller because one is easy to carry, the very small ones, especially and if you're doing mobile gigs. Vinyls would be for like special occasions where you want to actually show that you're the boss. That's what I choose. But CDJs too for like huge events. But on a regular gig to gig event, I'd rather choose my tiny controller because carrying vinyls to an event, playing 2 hours and coming back, it's crazy. So it depends on the situation. But luckily, I can play with anything: vinyl, CDJs, controllers.
Do you have dream artist you love to tour or collaborate with?
In Ghana, it's Molly. In South Africa, it's Kabza the Small. In the UK, it will be Stormzy. Yes, this three. But Kabza the Small, a huge fan. What's this guy's name? Forgotten the name. Those South African names, they're a bit difficult to spell and pronounce. But definitely Black Coffee, definitely Kabza the Small, Molly, Molly in Ghana. Yeah, and then Stormzy.
Do you see DJing as a long term career?
No, I see DJ as a career. I'm still learning and growing, and I'm also trying to because I'm also trying to establish myself in a way that other younger generation will see me as a benchmark to follow their dreams. When I started, I was told that, oh yeah, you start this and then you would uh, you use this as your starting point in life and then you branch into other things. But after COVID, it's taught us that you can do after COVID, I learned that you can understand, like you can learn more about your craft and learn the business of it and get into other things. So I think that I would always be a DJ. Honestly, I don't a DJ producer. I don't know what I would do aside that.